There is, unfortunately, sort of a growing anti-science movement in some quarters, whether it's the science of evolution or the science of climate change. There are efforts to water down science education in our schools. There are people who don't want the teaching of evolution in our schools. They don't want the teaching of climate change in our schools. Are we going to cede ground to the forces of anti-science? Well, we do so if we don't fight back to ensure that children in our schools are exposed to a solid scientific education, that we don't shy away from educating our children about societally relevant science, potentially controversial areas of science. So it's critical, whether you're an academic, a scientist, an educator, to do what you can to try to make sure that we inform children and adults alike about matters of societally relevant science. And I certainly feel that that's true in the case of the science of human-caused climate change. And that's why I spend so much of my time engaged in efforts to try to communicate the science to the public. It's part of my role as an educator, but it's also something that I'm very passionate about. And I want to make sure that we do all we can to ensure that we don't leave a degraded planet behind for future generations. And the only way we're going to ensure that is by making certain that discussions of policy when it comes to environmental threats like human-caused climate change are informed by an honest, accurate, and comprehensive understanding of what science has to say.